So let's talk about that for a minute.
Mm.
So we finish up our business on Wednesday, and I'm not here Thursday, so I'm starting to prepare for, what our day looks like the next day and how we navigate it. And I'm a little disconnected at that point. I'm like, all right, I could take a breath. KC, Jesse, they got everything covered tomorrow. And I get a call from Matt George, and Matt's like, hey, did you see the Kuminga stuff I just dropped? No. Can you fill me in? Get like I'll pull it up, but can you fill me in? So he's filling me in. I'm pulling up his tweets as he's talking and he's laying it all out. All right. Like you feel pretty good about this? He was like, yeah. Like I did what I do. Like I'm good. Said, okay, do you want what do you want from me? Because I ain't doing nothing. So what do you need from me? As I'm talking to Matt, I get a text. And I don't read it to Matt right away. I said, hey, not for me. Do you have the deal? He was like, I have what I think the latest deal is. And he presented it to me. And it's the Saric, Devin, and 2 second-round picks. And I said, okay. I just got a text that there's a discrepancy on. So I'm not doing anything with this. So you have to rectify this or reconcile it. I have Saric and Devin with a protected first-round pick. I haven't sent a single text to a single person yet. And I think this was said on the Insider, so I don't think it's a big deal that I say this. James texts me. He has Saric, Devin, and I think he had a protected first. And then I finally sent a text and said to someone who Matt doesn't know, this is just someone completely removed who we've gone to in the past. He had Saric, Devin, and 2 first-round picks. So it was always those 2 players and some form of draft compensation that appeared to change. I point that out for a very specific reason. Here we are on Monday. All of this stuff broke on not late Wednesday, but Wednesday evening. I've read tweets from people that I like, respect. I've read tweets from people that I don't like and don't respect. And there is this running thought, and I know Dave jumped on this right away. I saw Ant-Man follow it, and Sam co-signed Anthony Slater. Oh, this isn't close. I saw Bonte tweeting, "Oh, it's so funny. Kings fans and reporters thinks this is if this call took place, it was a 10-second call. No, dog, it wasn't." Everybody from Sacramento and Detroit had virtually the same exact deal, with the discrepancy being in the draft, the pick selection. And to pretend, I don't know if the Warriors got backlash. I don't know if they got embarrassed. I don't know if they thought they could. I don't know if some general manager said we could do better. I don't know what happened that slowed this deal down. But to act like this wasn't close to happening is laughable. Matt, James, you, me, whoever chooses to report on something is reporting on a situation as it's happening. It's not to predict whether the deal gets done. It's not to protect one of the franchises in it. If the Kings got their feelings hurt because this deal got public, tighten up your goddamn ship. That's your problem. Now, it's very clear when the Sacramento Kings started calling people. I'll break kayfabe. I like Dave. I text with Dave regularly. Dave is perfectly fine with me. Dave got a call, and I would bet you, Dave got a call asking him to clean this up. Because no one had nothing. Dave threw in a Russell Westbrook part. Everybody who listens to the show was in on that bit. But the Kings weren't paying attention. So they're like, oh, he's out here trying to force this Russell Westbrook thing. No one tweeted about Russell Westbrook except for one person. And all I did was tweet a GIF. You responding to a GIF? This organization needs to tighten itself up a little bit. Matt's job is not to help the Kings get deals done. Matt's job is to report what is happening in the moment. Whether I don't know how deep James went on his reporting. He had it. I don't know what he did with it. But their job, hey, this is happening right now. This is where this is where Kuminga is at. This is where the Kings are at. We were trying to find the dollar figure. We couldn't. I kept hearing one, and I said, hey, this is the dollar figure I got it from one person, and this person is not someone who would be in on the negotiations. This is at best the third person on the phone who heard this deal. So I don't know what the dollar figure is or if that's the holdup. But if we put 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 together, we can find out there's a discrepancy in the draft compensation. So I could work from that. But this whole idea that he was wrong or that the report was wrong, it was all Matt was 100% right in everything he was reporting. Those people who had this stuff in Detroit were 100% right on everything they were reporting. The only people who are saying they are wrong are the people who the Kings are telling you to tell them that they're wrong, and the Golden State Warriors. I'll speak for Matt. I normally wouldn't. I'll speak for Matt. Extremely confident that the organization was very far along on this Kuminga deal. Where it's hung up at, I have no idea. But the idea that it's not close, the idea that it wasn't happening, the idea that this was all manipulative, absurd. Matt's a goddamn news reporter. Matt doesn't get paid for his opinion. He reports. We talk trash. That's what we do. We are not reporters. Our jobs are very different. He did his job and he did it very, very well.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. I don't know how much you saw on Thursday, if at all, but I was started the show, I was talking to Jesse, and I was like, I was thinking about that deal coming into the studio, and I was like, I said, man, that deal is so below what you think the value is, and it's so random. It's got to be real. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, why would that be the deal? Why would that be the offer? I understand, like I said, we do the bit on the show about general manager KC and, not coming in with your best offer. I get all that, but I was like, why would that be the offer? And I landed on because Scott Perry knows what the hell he's doing. And Scott Perry knows what the market is for Jonathan. He knew on Wednesday what the market was for Jonathan Kuminga. He knew who was involved and how much it would take compensation-wise to get a deal done. The Warriors may not have known. That's where everything gets a little murky, because I think, and this is just me reading the tea leaves, just critically thinking, I think Scott knew on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, this is his market.
You saw the Wizards deal?
Yeah.
That's your market.
Yeah.
It's called a market analysis if you were looking at a home. James loves to use the home analogies. That's a market analysis, and Scott Perry did it.
And this, and maybe this is where things get a little murky, but this, I don't think the Warriors knew the market. I don't think, well, maybe Dunleavy and all these other guys did. Here's where I think some things started to fall apart. I do think the Warriors got embarrassed. I think specifically Joe Lacob got embarrassed. Once he figured out what was going on, the conversations that were being had, I think he got embarrassed. And I don't think Joe Lacob knew at that time, Friday, whatever, the market for Jonathan Kuminga. I still think a lot of the people in Golden State and some writers still don't understand what the market is for Kuminga.
You know what the market isn't? I'm looking at, I don't know who Josh is, but salute, welcome to the show. Hit the thumbs up button. He says Kuminga for Saric and Carter and a bunch of laughing emojis. The Golden State Warriors would trade Jonathan Kuminga for that $800 cup of coffee I had to have the other day. They don't want him. They don't want him, and we are in a completely different world financially than we used to be. It's why this has arguably been the lamest free agency in history. all of the built up, man, this is going to be a seismic offseason. Nah, teams are scared to death. They're scared to spend money. They're scared of aprons. Restricted free agency has a chokehold on this league right now. And the Warriors are like, test your market. Test your market. Go ahead. Match, not match, whatever. The fact is, the Warriors have a player that they don't want. But they know someone else wants them. The problem for the Warriors is they know the someone else's know that they don't want him. And so this big knock your socks offer for a young player like Kuminga, it ain't happening. It's not happening. And you might not get a better offer than a young player like Devin Carter, who I'm not switching it up. I don't like it. I don't like him. I don't think he's good. You saw something in him at the end of the season that maybe you can build off of. If he's a king, I hope you're right. But from what I see right now, man, you could do whatever you want to with that. Your best bet might be, how some of y'all like to say, take a flyer on someone. Your best bet might be taking a flyer on Devin Carter. Because if that Washington Wizards offer is indicative of what the rest of the league is talking to you about, bro, the Kings could put you in a position where you just gotta go ahead and match it.
Look,
match that offer.
You said something a second ago, and there's a couple of components going on here, right? You said the Warriors don't want Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga doesn't want the Warriors. The Warriors have an understanding of what the market is, but here's where things get a little fishy, and it's different. I can understand how people in the media, Warriors fans, aren't seeing this because it is the Kings. We've been dealing with incompetent GMing for a decade. Scott Perry knows Jonathan Kuminga's market more than the Warriors do. He knew it on Wednesday. Not only did he know the trade market, he knew the Warriors didn't want him. He knew Kuminga didn't want to go back to the Warriors. He knew what the rest of the league was willing to pay for Jonathan Kuminga money-wise. I'm not saying he's like perfect or he's this savant or anything else like that. Scott Perry has known all of this. He caught the Warriors with their pants down. They got caught with their pants down. He has been on, and the reason why I feel this confident about this is the offer is so out of left field. Sarge, why would you trade Sarge? Like, why would he be? First of all, why did you acquire him? Second of all, why would he even be involved in a trade where somebody would want it? It's that specific. You know how it's like sometimes when somebody has like accusations or something like that, the accusations are so out of left field, you almost have to take them seriously. Because who would make this up? Who would make up putting Sarge in a trade package? It almost has to be real. At least that's the offer, and that's what Scott Perry believes is part of the value for Jonathan Kuminga. And like I said on Thursday, Scott Perry is looking at the thing like, I know you don't want him. I know he don't want to be there. If you want to go ahead and pay him, go ahead and pay him. Do it. Pay him. Like, fine, do what you do. Or if you want to trade him, he told them, go find a better deal. If you can find a better deal, if you can find somebody that can up their original deal or whatever the case may be, more power to you. You did a great job, Mike Dunleavy Jr. But go ahead. I know you don't want him, and I know there's not a better deal out there. But you can go look for one if you want to. He's 2 steps ahead this whole time. This entire time. In this situation, he's 2 steps ahead. Now, predicting
it still could result in nothing.
It could result in nothing. It could result in the Warriors just bringing him back. Mm-hmm. That's an option for sure. Because everybody want to talk about who got the most leverage.
Absolutely nuts.
Fine. If you want to say the Warriors got the most leverage because they could just bring it, fine.
The Warriors got leverage to do something they don't want to.
Right. Go ahead and do it.
Like you absolutely can. Like you could, if the problem, leverage is the wrong word. They don't want to. That's what this boils down to. They don't want to.
They've shown it in so many different ways over the last 18 months. They do not want Jonathan Kuminga. They don't want him. So go ahead. You can bring back a player that you don't want and that doesn't want to be there. Or, like I said on Wednesday, and I think this is what Scott Perry said, go find a better offer. If you think this is a low ball, if you think this is a bad deal, go find a better deal. And if you can find a better deal, take that deal. And I salute somebody had something that I didn't see coming. But remember on Friday, maybe Saturday, I can't remember. All of a sudden, see, this is how funny stuff starts happening. All of a sudden, Washington pops up. And I'm not saying any of these reporters are wrong on the intel that they're getting. I think the intel, the people who are giving them that intel, either got an agenda or wrong themselves. All of a sudden, Washington pops up. Within 12 hours, Washington trades for Cam Whitmore.
Yeah.
They weren't involved in this.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they were never involved.
Not to any
this.
serious degree.
No. And Miami goes and makes their deal today. Scott Perry just said, I told you wasn't going to find a better offer. Now you decide whether you take this one. And like I said, even that, like, because before we were under the impression it was 2 second rounders. That didn't have to be the final offer. If I was Scott Perry and I'm negotiating, I'll sweeten the deal a little bit. What you want, a first and a second? Like we can change on the parameters of what the draft compensation is, but player wise, that's the best you're gonna do. That's what Scott Perry telling him. And so far, he hadn't been wrong. We'll see if somebody comes in out of nowhere, but RKO out of nowhere. But so far,
Dunleavy going, it's fine, and that's fine. Like Dunleavy going to be that one to have to go back to Steve Kerr and say, "Yeah, he's still here."
Yeah,
you figured out. Like but my man Josh in here talking about, sign him now, trade him later. Cool. To who?
Right.
To who? You can't trade him without a dollar figure attached today. You gonna trade him later? Go ahead, do that. Oh, right. You're gonna trade him. You're gonna trade a player who's gonna return to a team that he's not playing for. What are we doing?
And you bring him back and he's on the offer sheet. I'm talking about the offer sheet. Why would anybody give you anything better than Sarge and Devin Carter for a guy they know is about to be a free agent next year? Unrestricted free agent. You think you're going to bring him back on the qualify and you're going to trade him? Look, people in Warriors land, they've talked about leverage. You can have leverage all you want or think you have leverage all you want. The market has spoken. Do with it what you want. Bring him back if you want to. There ain't no sweat off Scott Perry's back. We tried to go get this guy. They wanted to bring him back. All right, it's whatever. We'll move on with what we were doing for the rest. We'll press go on the Schroeder trade and do whatever and still find somebody else to try and take Malik Monk or whatever we're doing. Like it's like we want the guy, talking about Scott Perry. We want him, but we're not gonna pay you. We're not gonna overpay when we know what your cards are.
Yeah, and overpay isn't always based on a player or the talent evaluation of a player. It's based on the market. Home prices go up when the market is hot. They go down when the market is cold. It's the market. It's not the house.
Right.
You might think the world of Kuminga. We know 2 things. One, the Warriors don't. And as you pointed out, the market doesn't appear to either. And that's that.
Look, I think Jonathan Kuminga, like in my mind, watching the game, all this other stuff, I think the trade compensation should be more than what the Kings are offering. But guess what? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think
if it
should
doesn't
be.
exist,
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. As long as Mike Dunleavy and Steve Kerr and whoever else is involved in decision makings at Golden State can decide, well, yeah, we just got to bring him back. As long as you're fine with that, because if the market is bad now, how much worse does it get when you bring him back and don't play him? How much worse does it get when Draymond crosses him and Kuminga decides, no, I've seen this video before, I'm going to fight back? Because I'd imagine if Steve Kerr doesn't want him back, I don't imagine the brain contingent does of Steph and Draymond, because for some reason Draymond gets to make decisions or have an opinion. I don't imagine he does, but I'm sure he'll react rationally when Jonathan Kuminga walks into training camp next 2 months from now, 3 months from now.
In the chat, Josh, I don't know if it's the same Josh or whatever, He says, that's all I need to hear, Casey. You know that it's just trash talking about the trade offer. Apparently it's not. Like Josh and others, including myself, are overvaluing Jonathan Kuminga in this climate. You're overvaluing him, Josh. Like you can tweet and comment your little heart away about what you think it should be. Guess what, Josh and everybody else? It doesn't matter. What it is what it is. The market has spoken. That Sarge for and Devin Carter and a couple picks is actually not trash. It's the best one you'll get. It's the best offer as of right now. And I'll put it to you like that. I don't know what you think is going to happen, Josh and everybody else. If there is a better offer, it's not 4 first rounders and Giannis. It'll be equal to or slightly above what that offer is. I don't know what you think you're going to get. So it could be equal, and the Warriors just not want to do business with the Kings. That's a possibility too. It could be Cody Crispert and a second rounder. It could be that. But I don't know what you think. Oh, we're going to pass on the Kings offer because we're going to get KD and Jalen Green in 4 first. Like, what do you think you're going to get? Are you not paying attention? I'm talking to the Warriors now.
Teams.
Are you not?
That's a crazy deal right there. It's another one of them 17 deals right there.
Are you not paying attention to what's going on right now, Mike Dunleavy Jr.?
Yeah, speaking of, you want any indication of what the market is? It was just a 7-team deal. 7-team. For the first time in NBA history, there was a 7-team deal. That's the state of the NBA right now. That's the state of the salary cap. That's the state of these aprons. That's the state in which these teams are currently navigating. And they're playing the market figure better than they ever have. Mm-hmm. I have never, ever, ever seen an offseason where you're not gasping at a trade. You're not gasping at a salary. You're not gasping at, wow, this player got that. None of that has existed this offseason. Mm-hmm. Absolutely none of it. And it is out of one thing and one thing only. It's because Draymond Green was right. And these teams are scared to death of that apron. Mm-hmm. They're scared to death of making that one financial mistake that could screw them up for the next 3 to 4 What is going on in the NBA right now? Specifically, why is nothing going on in the NBA right now?
Oh, I think we're a little tired, all of us. I kind of want it to settle down. We got the finals. We had 7 games of that. And then all of a sudden, boom, we got the draft. And all of a sudden, boom, we got free agency. We got full day of lots of moves and flurries. And now we've got some of the most unprecedented wave and stretches and buyouts. The number 1 overall pick gets bought out. You got Dame getting waived and stretched. Pause. And so, yeah, I think at this point, what is there left to do? More trades?
Well, I mean, restricted free agency is at a standstill.
Yep.
There's an interesting situation going on with Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors. You have Josh Giddey in Chicago. I'm sure there's a couple I'm missing, but I think I would probably call those the 2 prime restricted free agents of the class. And it's just, it's kind of bizarre. It's what I feel like is happening is the Warriors, I don't know how Chicago feels about Giddey. We're not there covering them the same way. Obviously the Warriors are close enough. We cover them pretty closely, and this at least particular situation seems to be pretty closely tied to Sacramento. But we know the Warriors don't want Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know how Chicago feels about Josh Giddey. Chicago might just be like, test the market, dog. And the market is not there for anybody. And Kuminga, I don't know how this Kuminga situation ends for him or for the Golden State Warriors.
I think that there's this issue with the CBA. And I think we can probably just stop right there, and that can be an evergreen statement.
Yeah, facts.
But there's just a lot of reluctancy to sign the non-obvious players. And I think restricted free agency is going to be the spot that gets squeezed the most, because what really incentivizes teams to pay out money is when they know that the money next year is getting into a larger and larger pot. And the fact that they got this huge amount of money from the television rights deals from NBC and Amazon, ESPN, and then the estimated increases of the salary cap are not commensurate with that large TV deal, I think it's scaring the hell out of teams, because if you're planning for a 10% increase every year, and then they tell you, actually, it's what they just did, it's going to be 7%. Well, that over time, because you're building, even if it's 10 the next year, it just has an exponential effect, right? If it's 10% off of 110, that's way better than 10% off of 107. And that increases out 5 to 7 years. And some of these deals are 4 or 5 years long. So how am I supposed to project what to pay Jonathan Kuminga when the first estimate is 3% wrong and I don't have any more information moving forward?
Somebody asked this earlier in the show, do you feel like the new CBA has been good, bad, or it's too early to tell?
I think it's a little column A, column B, and column C. I think there's a lot of things that I like about it, which is like no sustained super team. You can't just go out and buy things and think that that's just going to keep you ahead of everybody else. And I think we all kind of like that, because then the teams that build organically and with their minds and not their pocketbooks, they're able to succeed in ways that we couldn't imagine, like with the Indiana Pacers, for example. And you look at, for example, the OKC Thunder, it's almost like like Sam Presti has been knowing that this CBA was coming 5-6 years ago, when he just keeps collecting draft picks and having players that are under really reasonable contracts. And then you see the other drunk GMs, and I always credit Tim Connolly because he's awesome, but Tim Connolly way overpays for players and doesn't negotiate really with them. And then what that leads to is, well, now you can't sign Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So I think you just have to be really smart with your cap management now, where back in 2016, we all know that one. That's when Portland decided to pay Evan Turner and Alan Crabb and everybody. I mean, that was like probably the worst moment for that current CBA, and probably what informed future CBA agreements. But then what's bad is that there's elements of like, well, we're worried about the tax, not because of any other reason, but we're just going to lose draft picks. Or a player wants to leave, but because of teams in that second apron, you have to have a 7-team trade in order to get that done. And there has to be teams that are basically wastelands to you just dump your garbage players that are making a lot of money to Brooklyn. And that's basically what they are now, is just like the dump of the NBA, which to make the math work. It feels like the math is really
fun. He's been listening to his boy, Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo. And they had the Sacramento Kings ranked as the second worst situation in the NBA. I'm assuming, and I'm going to ask you to provide a little bit.
Real quick, I wrote that wrong. Second worst situation in the Western Conference. They split up the conferences and ranked them that way.
Okay.
But they're bottom 5 in the NBA.
Okay. Well, that changes my question then.
Well, tell me your question.
Well, I assumed Utah was the worst, but no.
Phoenix was probably the worst.
That's fair.
Phoenix and Brooklyn were number one Phoenix, and they didn't agree on the other one. Bill said Chicago was the worst in the East.
Okay. Can you provide some context to this? Because worst situation doesn't mean the worst team.
Yeah, it's like kind of your assets, your roster, your assets moving forward, draft picks, things like that. So you look at somebody like Phoenix, and not only is their roster looking bad, they don't own their own picks. They're a second apron team right now. Like they're fine. All three of those components, the way I look at it, roster, assets, cap situation, they're an F in all three. Like their roster's awful. They don't have any draft picks moving forward. In their cap situation, they're a second apron team. Like that's what you're kind of looking for. So you look at somebody like Utah, so to speak. Utah's roster is not good, but their cap situation ain't that bad, and they have a lot of future picks. You know what I mean? So they're in the bottom half, but that may not be why they're the worst. You know what I mean? Because you could look at Lauri Markkanen and hell, Ace Bailey, if you wanted to combine that with somebody and go trade for somebody. Phoenix can't even do that. And then you look at Sacramento. Sacramento, they don't really have that either. It's kind of hard to argue against them being one of the worst roster situations in the league because your cap situation is teetering a little bit. You don't really have tradable pieces when you talk about Zach LaVine. I say DeMar DeRozan. I also say Domantas Sabonis. And the roster, while talented, nobody really understands what the roster is or where it's going. It's directionless in a lot of people's mind. So them being looked at as one of the worst situation, they map this out for like over the next 5 years. Like, you know, your roster situation, your team flexibility over the next 5 years or so. Hell, James said they got to wait till like 27 to start thinking about doing stuff. Or potentially that may be their mindset. So I think it's a fair assessment of the Kings and their situation. If you're comparing it to other situations around the league, yeah, they're probably in the bottom 5, bottom 10 of the entire league. They had Brooklyn in there. They had Washington. They had New Orleans. Obviously, Phoenix, Utah, Chicago. Chicago's an interesting one because it's like, what is Chicago doing? They don't even really have a lot of picks.
Hit you with the Jordan shrug.
They don't have a lot of assets.
I mean, that's the question you can ask about Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's fair. Like, I don't know. I don't know what Chicago is doing.
Yeah. So it's
no idea.
Do you, if I said, let's combine the whole league? I mean, because obviously you're bottom 5. If you're 2 in the West, and you could just say at least 2 others in the East, would you say the Kings have a bottom 5 roster team building situation in the NBA?
The Phoenix is pretty damn bad, man.
Phoenix is the worst to me.
Phoenix is bad.
Phoenix
so
no hope.
Man, this is tough because Phoenix, obviously, because it's so bad, you know, their like situations, their caps, their money. I don't like. Again, bad situation versus bad team. Is Charlotte where's Charlotte in this conversation?
So Charlotte's probably there.
I don't know where Utah
but you've got a Brandon Miller. You've got a LaMelo that you can.
But what's Brandon Miller?
He's a good young player.
He is.
He's a good young player, and it's going into his 3rd year.
I think Keegan's a good young player.
Yeah, I think Brandon Miller is way better than Keegan as a prospect and as a young player. I think they're on different tiers.
Different tiers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. New Orleans?
New Orleans is shaky. Now they have players.
By the way, the answer is probably yes. Now I'm like looking at these teams like,
New Orleans.
Philly at least got Maxey.
Philly got Maxey.
I don't know what you do with those other two. Yeah.
You got VJ.
Yeah.
New Orleans, I think Russillo said it kind of perfectly because he didn't like Utah's roster. He looked at the Jazz roster. It's like they don't really have no real assets, but they got a lot of picks and future picks and things of that nature. And he looked at New Orleans. He's like, they don't really have a lot of picks, but they got a lot of assets on the roster. Like you can move Zion, Troy Murphy, Herb Jones, guys like that. You can move guys like that and either acquire picks or acquire players if you need to. So he was like, I wish New Orleans has the right roster. Utah has the right draft assets. If you combine them, they'd be in a super situation.
Mm-hmm.
But they, that's their thing. But I think New
Danny
Orleans
Ainge and Daryl Morey joined forces.
It's even worse. Danny Ainge and Joe Dumars.
Oh, New Orleans. Yeah. New Orleans. Yeah. Oh,
And
Jesus.
James Jones.
James
James
took the league
NBA.
job. Yeah,
he's
he
the
took the
NBA.
league job.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing anything here anyways. Get my ass out of here.
So, I think I would say Phoenix is worse. I'd probably say Chicago's a little worse.
So you disagree with me about New Orleans?
Yeah, because they got Zion. Zion and like if you ever really wanted to blow it up.
But what do you do though? Like does someone do that?
Does
someone take Zion?
Yeah, I think somebody still takes it. Hell, we talked about taking
Zion. No, I mean, you ain't got to tell me. But Zion plays 35 games this year. That's a specific hypothetical, obviously.
Well, that might change some things for sure. Okay. That might change some things for sure. Okay. But just today, as is, he's a better asset than anything the Kings have on their roster.
All right.
And you got Fears as a rookie. He's looked at as somebody that you like. I like Jordan Poole still too. A lot of people don't like his contract, but we talked about Jordan Poole and how much I kind of like his game still.
Zion's games played since his rookie year. His rookie year was 24, second year was 61, 29 year 3, 70 year 4, and then 30 last season. He's off and on.
But I'll ask you this. They're both on the open market right now. Who nets you a bigger return, Zion or Zach LaVine?
Oh, Zion.
Zion or Domantas Sabonis?
Zion.
Zion could play one game next year, and I think he'd net you a bigger return than either one of those guys.
He's the ultimate what-if guy.
Yeah. Well, he's the ultimate. I think he's the ultimate we can fix it guy. Like, I don't think anyone thinks they can fix Zach LaVine. I mean, Domas, at this point, you know what you're acquiring with Domas. Very good basketball player. But you're acquiring something very, very specific. Zion's one of those guys who someone would say in the meeting, bro, we got the best medical staff in the NBA. He ain't been with our doctors. He ain't been with our nutritionists.
They didn't know what they was doing over there.
Bruh, that's it. They say that with players just on the court. They don't have anything to do with physicals, health, nothing like that. Like those types of phrases are uttered all the Those types of things are said about our players. They don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, Sacramento.
There are people, there are people eyeballing Keegan Murray like that's Sacramento. Like he could be better than what he is. He could be better than what he is. But it's do you have him? Did you settle at bottom five? I still got Patrick Bailey's home run up. I need to close this tab. It just keeps rerunning on my screen.
Need one today. But I would say I'll put it in order too.
Okay.
Phoenix, Chicago, the Kings, Utah. That's kind of where I'm not sure. Utah and the Kings. I'm not sure who's in a better situation. And New Orleans is where I think New Orleans in a worse spot than Charlotte.
I think if we run this conversation back next year, I'd be curious to see if we can mention this team. But what about Atlanta? Now, I thought Atlanta had a decent offseason. But also, I'm not going to go babyface on Atlanta. I'm just trying to be honest. Like I think they had a fine offseason. But when you're talking about direction, how is Atlanta not in this conversation?
Atlanta's got two. When you talk about their roster, they've got at least two guys that
you can move.
You feel good. Well, you feel good about either way, moving or having on your roster. When you talk about Jalen Johnson and Trae Young.
Yeah, I feel like you can only feel good about moving them because you have them on your roster and you're 40 and 42.
Jalen, I'm not sure. I can look this up, or maybe Jesse's even quicker with it. But I think Jalen had gotten hurt for the year. He was playing at a really high level for about 40 games, and I think he got hurt for the year. So maybe you're selling yourself.
Your memory with injuries is sketchy.
He was 19 points per game, 8 19
He
points
was
per game, 10
cooking.
rebounds, 5 assists in 40 games.
Do we have game?
He played 40 games for real?
36, excuse me.
That's
36.
close enough.
Yeah,
Count it.
No,
Count
no.
it.
I rounded
Count
up.
it.
No.
If it's above
See,
5, you round up.
See, Jesse, look, Jesse was helping you out.
Well, yeah, they were upset with that. Then they got even more mad because I had a follow-up tweet that said that's
No, that was the one. Nah, that was the one. That was the one. That was the one. Oh, they got deep. They got deep in their feelings over that one.
They were upset.
KC quote tweeted the same video and said, "This is what the Chase Center will look like when Steph retires."
Nobody in the building.
They were furious. I was like, you know what? I was like, I did the heel turn. You know how the tag team partner stands at the end and he's holding the tag rope, reaching out to tag his partner, and then right when Casey dives for the tag, he just turns around and walks away.
So
That was me.
brother.
That was me. I was like, woo. I'm just gonna close the app.
But what really the way I was I was Shawn Michaels coming down the aisle when they threw the beer on him. I just said
Shawn Michaels in Canada. Shawn Michaels in Canada. KC in San Francisco. Same thing.
The funny thing is, I love the city of San Francisco. They always be talking crazy. Like I love the Giants. I love the Niners. Don't love the Warriors, but hey, I love the city. It's good. They just be getting upset. What's up?
This is a safe space.
Yeah.
I think Seattle's better. Oh. Hey.
Now those two cities mirror each other in my mind. I've never been to Seattle. But they remind me of each other.
Yeah, very similar. I don't know, man. I fell in love with Seattle. Okay. Like as a shoot, like that city is. I mean, I had a great, host who made sure we went to all of the the spots, all of the tourist stuff. We did all of that within the first 5 hours. Just ate. Mm-hmm. Like there was no. They kept saying, "Hey, you want a pole?" I think a bowl. I don't remember what it was. I was like, "What is that?" Oh, you just got to try it. It was I don't know. It was like pork in like dough. I don't know. It was.
Oh, okay.
It was fire. Oh my God. It was so good. And then, oh no, you got to try the cookie. Oh, let's go get drinks here. Let's go here. And we're just walking all over it. The weather was now.
I think that's one of the X factors.
The weather for this entire trip could be characterized as nothing other than flawless. It was perfect. And you're in the sun, man, this is warm. Yeah. You in the shade, oh God, this is perfect. Weather was perfect. So I know we got lucky, but I was walking around like, is this better than San Francisco? And I love San Francisco too. We take trips to San Francisco just kind of to be there, be in the city. Yeah. I don't know, man. I like this one.
I can't speak because I've never been to Seattle, so I can't speak. But look, sorry, Bay Area people that ruffle your feathers every now and then. But the truth of the matter is, I love San Francisco. It'll be very difficult for me to say that Seattle or a number of different cities are better than San Francisco. I love me some San Francisco.
Understood.
There's 5 cities
that's an amazing
in the
city.
country that I would put ahead of San Francisco. And I say that not
New York, LA.
Those are two. Those are two for sure.
What are the other two?
I don't even know. I love New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. New Orleans.
I love New Orleans.
New Orleans, I got to do New Orleans again. I've been to New Orleans twice, I think. Yeah, but I did it I was a little more reserved.
Oh, it's time to wild out, D-Lo.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's time to wild out the daiquiris.
Yeah.
The frozen daiquiris.
I'll always remember. I don't remember. I wish I could remember the name of the restaurant. But we went with a bunch of guys from ESPN. And these brothers eat, right? And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, you know what we need to get? Let's get this golden platter for the table." Oh, word, all right, let's do it. And when I tell you, there wasn't a smidge of color on this platter.
All brown.
Everything was fried and glistening, from the onion rings to the fries to the shrimp to the crab. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then you had what's the one where you got to put the bib on? And
I mean, a number of different
one. I know there's like 50 things in New Orleans.
the
crawfish. I think
yeah.
it's the crawfish.
Yeah.
Let's get those. And Lord, that's where you go. Like, hey, I'm just gonna be fat.
That's what you gotta.
Like, let Zion live. If you've never been to New Orleans, don't say a word about Zion Williamson.
That's why I'll never talk about my man's weight. I understand. I saw a video last night for this spot Moros that I love. I thought, oh my goodness, love me some Moros. But New Orleans is there. Obviously, this is excluding Sacramento because that's the best city. But I've never been to Chicago. I've heard Chicago is amazing.
That's a good one, but that's another one that's probably like Seattle. If you go at the wrong time,
March through September.
Man, if you go at the wrong time, it can be tough. I've been to Chicago multiple times. One, when that wind hits.
I can only
imagine. When that wind hits, Lord.
Ooh.
But yeah, no, Madison Avenue is.
I can only.
It's incredible.
So I hear you. I can't speak because I haven't been to Seattle. I feel like I would like Seattle too.
I'd
but
go Seattle over Chicago.
I
don't know.
Do you like LA as a city?
LA is tough for me. Does Santa Monica count as LA? Like,
Absolutely.
Does Malibu count as LA?
Malibu doesn't.
Malibu doesn't. Is Santa Monica
sure.
next to Malibu?
No. Santa Monica is like West LA kind of. Malibu is down the coast a little bit more.
Okay. You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you live there? My gripe with LA has kind of always been the same. Everything is so spread out. True. Like, it's hard to and it's not an easy city to navigate.
Right.
Like if you go to LA, where do you go? Like, what's the
wherever you go is like where you stay.
Right. That's exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a number of places to go to. That's the good thing. But wherever you go, that's where you just.
So the last time I was in like a non-Malibu Santa Monica part, I was in Beverly Hills. Now wait.
Bro, I've never even stepped foot in that place before. Like, I've never even.
I thought he was gonna say something like Downey or something like kind of urban. He's like Beverly.
I think the nicest city I've ever been to was like San Diego.
Well, that's up there too.
Not Beverly Hills though. What do they got to call it? Rodeo Drive, I think. Is that where you on
That's
Rodeo?
where he stayed.
Yeah, you're on
He
Rodeo
stayed
Drive?
on Rodeo Drive.
Well,
see what I'm saying?
Damn it, Damien.
Well, not on my dime. To be fair, it wasn't on my dime. It was on the dime of the Boston Celtics.
Well, shout out to the
model
Celtics.
franchise. Yeah,
put that together.
Enough, yeah.
Put that together yourself. Yeah, because them
Danny Ainge,
hey, them. Well, he was there at the time. Them NBA hotels hit different. So different. Walked into this hotel. Swear to God, the first person I saw was John Cena.
Oh, snap.
How have you never told this story before?
Snap.
I don't know how to bring that part up. We were talking about LA. I was visiting, actually, it wasn't the Celtics. It was the Wizards. It was when she was the color analyst for the Wizards. Yeah, because I remember we saw what's the old boy's name? Kelly Oubre.
Okay.
And Oubre walks by.
Boy.
Well, you won't believe this. That's exactly what she said. So we walk by him, and he's got his headphones on, and he sees her, and he's just like, "Hey," and we walk by, and we get just further enough away, and she just goes, "That's a wild boy, right?" That's a wild boy right there. But once you're where would I have gone from there? It's like you said it perfectly. Once you're somewhere, that's just where you are. When I go to, I used to visit Malibu regularly, and I always felt like Santa Monica was pretty close. Maybe it wasn't, but That
It's
would
not hella far.
that would be
but
the
it's-
only place I go to
Mhm.
is Santa Monica.
That
Like I would never
if
go
you
to
were-
like LA.
If you were in Malibu, that would be your first step into LA is Santa Monica. So that's
Okay.
probably why you didn't
Okay.
go past Santa
Yeah,
Monica.
that was it. Like it's not like, oh, we're gonna go to the Hollywood. So that's like an hour away. I ain't doing that.
Bro.
And it just feels like everything there is so spread out. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it. But man, the next trip we want to do, we were talking about this because my thing when we wrap up a trip, like what's our next one?
Mhm.
Give us something to look forward to. I gotta go back to New York.
Got to.
And I want to go like around Christmas. I want, hey, babe, pack a jacket. Pack a jacket, beanie,
Yeah.
scarf. Like I'm bringing New York Undercover back.
We Jesse kind of mentioned a little bit. I mentioned it. I wouldn't say this is better than San Francisco, but it's San Diego. You know we love San Diego.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I want to go to Petco. I've never
been around I've never been to a game there. I walked around the area in the stadium and it just looks I could imagine it for a game. It's probably just fantastic.
Casey, we should go hit at Beverly Hills one time.
I can't.
Come on, Jesse.
We can drive through, no? Just drive through. We're going to get out the car. We won't even park. Can't even afford to park. We could drive through.
For someone, first of all, you're a turncoat.
What are you talking about?
What are you doing with him?
For someone who has been to the Cartier store multiple
Wait a
times.
minute.
Wow,
Whoa, settle down.
now
Why
he's
are we
lashing
bringing up
out.
that?
No, wait a second.
Yeah. Now he's lashing out.
For someone who's been to the Cartier store multiple times, don't come for me.
Beverly Hills is a cool spot. You know, one of the things I used to, I think I've said this before. I used to Uber when I was living in LA. That's how I kind of just saw a lot of these places. I would go out on a Friday or Saturday night, and I was always trying to catch like the long rides, right? Like, hey, trying to go from Westwood to Hollywood. That was like a $40 ride. So I'd always start in Westwood, and it would take me to Beverly Hills. It would take me around Westwood. It would take me to Santa Monica. And then eventually I go to Hollywood. And if the homies was out in Hollywood too, I'd be like, hey, I'm out here and see them real quick and then get back on the clock. But that was and that was before you even talk about Long Beach, Orange County, all that. That's a whole nother world damn near.
All right, we back here with our man, the Louis Vuitton Don, our man Mark Jones, live from Las Vegas, Sacramento Kings play-by-play man. Of course, he's on the call for a variety of summer league games out there in Vegas. Mark, we appreciate you, man. Let's pick up right where we were at during the commercial break right there. The big kid from Stanford, man, Maxine, impressed a lot of people yesterday.
Yeah, he was even more skilled and versatile, I think, than a lot of people expected. You know, I just got off the phone with Western Conference Scott a minute ago who said they were trying to get him into camp, but it sounds like and feels like that a bunch of teams who wanted to get a closer look at him and couldn't get him in because he was managed really well by whoever does his representation. It was really well engineered to get him to a place like Sacramento where he's going to thrive. And we saw some of that yesterday in the game where able to make plays for himself, able to make plays for his teammates, high basketball IQ, and versatility. And, in this new landscape of the NBA and seeing what works, you've got to be able to do a bunch of things. And he's going to add to the overall versatility of the roster. I think the only thing that he might need to work on at this point is probably a little bit of his post-up game against NBA-type players. But that'll come. But, man, he showed some real flashes of brilliance yesterday.
Mark, real quick on what you talked about as far as, trying to kind of work his way to Sacramento.
Right.
How does something like that, you've been in the game, you talked to so many different people. How does something like that normally work? Is that because I'm sure Maxine isn't scouting the league himself and saying, I want to go to Sacramento. It's probably his representation saying, I think this is a good spot for you. And when he thinks that way, is that something that, maybe a GM like Scott Perry knows the representation and it's like, hey, talk to the guy and say, I think this is a good spot, and they work it out that way potentially.
That's where it helps to have a Scott Perry in your front office, somebody that has relationships, understands how to win the gray areas and the nuanced areas of representation, and being able to position yourself as a team, as an organization, to get a certain guy like that. Because, there are a lot of people around the league that felt that he was probably a bottom third first round pick, or maybe even a little bit higher. But he slipped to Sacramento, if you want to categorize it that way. And it's going to be a boon to this franchise. He's going to be a contributor. And, when you look at him and Neek Clifford, two older guys, right? And much like how there's a little bit of a trend right now across the league, being able to get older guys who can contribute right away. And, I think it's going to help Sacramento. And the advent of NIL has helped older guys stay in school. So now there's not pressure to come out as a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old. You can get that money and stay in college and develop and be a year closer towards being able to contribute immediately if you're getting drafted. And I think that's the scenario with Renault.
So, Mark, that first quarter kind of belonged to Max. That fourth quarter belonged to Neek. What'd you think of the first round draft pick in the fourth quarter of yesterday's game?
Man, he was impressive, man. When you look at his size, his length, his ability to guard the ball, team defense, he checked a lot of boxes in my estimation last night. And, to be able to get on the floor for Doug early, he's going to be able to have to play defense and understand the scheme and understand rotations, understand being the low man and being up above the restricted area circle and all those things, and the speed of the game. And I think I saw last night more than anything that he'll be a plug-and-play guy immediately, just like Maxime. From a really great family. He's hungry to play. I think we saw that last night. He's got a great support system. His parents were at every game he was playing in at Colorado State, and even before that at Colorado. And he's one of those ready to play now guys too.
Yeah, Mark
shot at 37%. So if Doug's going to stick to the I want 43s a game, he's got a clip ready to go.
That's right. I like that. Shoot that thing, man, for sure. Yeah. Mark, shifting gears just a little bit to another area of the Kings. Last week, shout out to Mark. He was tapped into D-Lo and KC. And he texted me, man, and he was talking about a conversation he had with somebody about Dennis Schroeder. And, having conversations, you've seen him pretty much his whole career. I think people are kind of undervaluing the player they're getting here in Sacramento and Dennis Schroeder. Me and Damien, we really like his game. But I think there's a lot more than people realize to what Schroeder has as a ball player.
Yeah. See, last year was really an aberration for Schroeder. When you look at the fact that he was with 5 different teams within the span of a few months, that was just, I think, a function of not being a great fit in Golden State. And, spoke with one of their coaches who said that, Steve Kerr loved him. He loved him as a player. As a fit, it just didn't work for the Warriors. So he became part of that package that landed him essentially in Detroit afterwards. But I think the thing that the Kings are going to really appreciate about Dennis is his leadership. He's able to take over games late at winning time and be able to run the show and show great control over the offense. He is a fierce competitor. And I think one of the things that Sacramento might have been in need of in previous years is a guy with a loose wire. And Dennis is fierce, and he's not afraid to curse out the guy on the other team or curse out the guy on his own team at times. And if you watched him play in the World Cup of basketball a couple of years ago, he got into it with one of his own players and one of his own coaches. And Dennis is very fierce, and it allows Doug now to play guys off the ball more than maybe he would want to, because if the ball is in Dennis's hands, then things usually end up in a good place for Sacramento, or they will.
See, but here's the thing, Mark, and we know you're on a tight schedule, so we're going to let you run. And I don't want to, belabor this too much. KC's right. I'm a big Dennis Schroeder fan. I'm a bigger Russell Westbrook fan. And I'm still of the belief this Sacramento Kings team needs another point guard. And they're trying to shoehorn these players into the point guard position when you can utilize them at other spots. Right. We know what the backcourt looks like. Do you think they need to keep some of these free agent options open and go look at another true point guard, the likes of Russell Westbrook or Campaign or some of the other guys that are out there?
Yeah, I think, man, we're going to find out a little bit more. I think in the next couple of games here at Summer League might tip the scales one way or the other in how Devin Carter plays. I know that Devin has been working really hard in the summertime. I'll tell you this. He called his father at the beginning of June, said, "Dad, let's train." They went to Phoenix and did basically a point guard boot camp for 3 weeks, like 2-a-days the first week, skill work after that, ball screen actions, skip passes to the corners, working on all that stuff. And AC told me, his dad told me, my son never played point guard at Providence or before that at South Carolina. I need to teach him how to become a point guard. So that might take a little time. That might take a little time. He's a pretty physically gifted guy, but you guys both know that point guards sometimes are more born than made.
That's it.
Not to say that it can't be done, but I think over the course of Summer League, him getting extended reps and trying to do that, that'll give, Scott and BJ Armstrong an opportunity to evaluate a little bit further. I personally think he can do it, but if it's as it is now, they might be working the phones for another point guard.
Okay. Mark, go get to work, man. You got a long day ahead of you. We appreciate you as always, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah. Looking forward to, hey, I got the Kings game on ESPN on Monday against Phoenix. We play Phoenix.
Okay.
So,
we tapped in. Mark Jones on the call. We tapped in.
I'll be turning that thing into a Kings infomercial. You already know.
Oh, baby. Let's go, baby. And he'll make his stops. They got a Louis Vuitton store.
Oh, yeah.
Every casino.
He's going to Caesars or he's going over to Ari, that whole area. He's going to check it out.
I had to do some retail therapy here in Vegas.
Hey. That's the move.
You guys keep up the great work, man. You're the best.
Appreciate you, Mark. Take care, man.
Thank you, brother. My man Mark Jones. The amount of times I've quoted Mark Jones when the packages come.
That's it.
Boy, he told me. Mark said, "Where your blessings?"
Mark told me. Told me. Don't blame me. He told me.
Mark gonna get an angry phone call one day from a woman he don't know. Hey, man, I'm gonna need you to lay off this "where your blessings" thing. No more. You can't take it with you. No more of that.
If you're not in debt, you're not living.
There we go.
My personal favorite.
Well, we're all living then in America.
Okay. I've been living life to the fullest lately.
We ain't never been more alive. Question, real quick. First half of the season is ending this weekend. The first, All-Star break. The first half of Major League Baseball here in Sacramento. What do you guys grade it?
What are we grading this on, though? Are we grading this from a Sacramento perspective?
Whatever criteria you want. You can have multiple grades, too.
Hey, I say this. I've been to like 3 games, and every time I got into the game, it's a fun experience.
I don't know. Is fine a grade? Because it's fine.
I give it a B+.
It's perfectly fine.
I've been to like 4 games this season. I've looked at the attendance numbers. They average about almost 10,000 in a 13,000 stadium. Like, I think for Sacramento, I think it's a B+. I don't care how the A's players feel. Like whatever. They're not. If there was a baseball team here, like they wouldn't be playing at Sutter Health Park like this or whatever. Like you'd obviously do up the stadium, upgrades, blah blah blah. For what it's been and for I guess as bad as they tell me it is and stuff, I'd give it a B.
We're not talking about the A's.
No, I'm talking about Sacramento, the people, stuff like that.
You asked about the city. You asked about baseball in Sacramento, not how that baseball team is performing.
No.
That is not they're not good.
Yeah, I'm
we
not
all
worried
recognize
about the A's
that.
or Severino or none of that.
But I feel like Sacramento has represented baseball well. They have turned out every time you've expected, whether it was the Phillies, the Mets, the Giants, the Yankees. The Yankees was legitimate. You missed something. The only reason I don't feel like I missed anything with the Giants because I wasn't here. Otherwise, I would have been sitting around moping, especially when I saw your seats and didn't even get to go. So, like, yeah, the city has shown out, I think, for baseball.
Mhm.
We can laugh at the media trailer. We can laugh at, people bitching and complaining about the team. Like, I feel like the city has represented baseball well.
I like Jesse's grade of a B plus. The one thing that I've routinely had an issue with that is unacceptable, and that's the clubhouse situation. Now, that's not Sacramento's fault. That's not even Sutter Health Park's fault. Like they didn't have an opportunity to rectify that. When they got the team in February, they said they were going to be here in like February or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't even know if they can. I don't know if this offseason they can put clubhouse connected to the dugout or whatever. But that's the one thing that I do understand the frustration of players on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
because I know they do a lot during the game, leaving the dugout and going to the clubhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and not having that option, I'm sure is pretty frustrating. And
Mm-hmm.
and if you're the A's, this is your home now. Like, this is your home stadium, and you can't even do the normal things you would do in a clubhouse during the game. So that'd be, I do understand that frustration. But other than that, I think the experience has been great. I've been to 3 games so far.
Yeah.
They've been dope every time. It's really, really cool to see Major League Baseball here in Sacramento. I think the sight lines are as good as you can get for a minor league stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Being where you are, seeing the Tower Bridge, downtown Sacramento in the background. We've gotten lucky. It hasn't been super hot for most of this summer, so that has played a factor into it as well. So I give it a B.
As a fan, you look for an atmosphere, and I think it has it. Like, I'm not going to say like Sutter Health Park is this monster park or anything like that, but like I've had fun at the games I've gone to. And it's not just, you're just sitting through a AAA game and it's just quiet the whole time. Like, that's not the case over there.
No, people get loud out there. Like,
they won't tell you that either, but like, yeah, like that's not the case.
Yeah. So far, the experience has been great for me. I was at the A's opener game. I was there for the Yankees, and I was also there for I showed up a little late for the Giants game. But every time I've gone there, it's been electric for me. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And before they came here to Sacramento, I was never really into baseball a lot. But now that they're here in Sacramento, it's brought me out. So it's working.
Yeah. The $25 lawn seat thing is pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's clutch.
Yeah.
The downside to the first half of Sacramento in baseball is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like there's been an at least somewhat coordinated attack on Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
And this is obviously a unique situation. And if you feel the need, whether you're a broadcaster or you're whoever that guy is that hosts the morning roast, if you think it's, I'm going to trash Sacramento or I'm going to trash the park, like that's perfectly fine. Just don't frame this as something about Oakland. Because you always weren't saying anything about Oakland a year ago or 2 years ago. It's now in vogue to, cry foul for the city of Oakland. It's now in vogue to talk about how wrong they were with that stadium, that you got your jokes off previously about how there were busted sewage pipes and pee running through the concourse and possums and rats in the media. But all of that stuff was well discussed. But now all of a sudden it's poor Oakland and Sacramento was the butt of your joke. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that. This is a unique situation. That is not the fault of the 10,000 fans that show up game after game. It's not even the fault of Vivek Ranadive or the people who run the Sacramento portion of this team. If you want to blame Fisher, you could do that. The person you should be blaming is jackass in New York. That's the person who's at fault for all of this. Rob Manfred has proved himself time and time again to be an unworthy commissioner in professional sports. Whether it's the safety nets and refusing to step up and say, hey, everyone needs to put up nets now. No, man, we've got to wait. We've got to talk to people about this. Who do you have to talk to? Because your biggest franchises are like, you know what? This has gotten to be too much. We're putting nets up. We're going to protect our patrons. We'll talk to the people. If anyone has a problem with this, we'll issue refunds. We'll do what we have to do. But we are putting nets up to protect the people who come to this ballpark. Meanwhile, he's sitting on his hands. You're sitting here crying about the city of Oakland and making fun of the city of Sacramento, making fun of Sutter Health Park and doing all of that. Meanwhile, the commissioner was the one who okayed all of this. Right. The commissioner was the one who allowed all of this to happen, but you don't want to direct your ire towards him. You want to direct it at the city of Sacramento.
Right.
Okay. Just know, I don't have any problem telling you about yourself.
Right.
Whether you're an announcer or you're a talk show host in San Francisco, I have no issue telling you about yourself because you're clearly just catching up on the Twitter points of the story and not what's been going on for the last year.
Facts.
And in Oakland's case, what's been going on for the last half a decade.
Yeah. Facts. And to your
so
point,
the coordinated attack that has been taking place on Sacramento the first half of the season is trash.
It's 100% trash. And I love what you just said about all these announcers taking shots. They'll take these shots at Sacramento. They'll take these shots at Sutter Health Park, but they won't dare on that air say something about Rob Manfred.
Never.
No.
So don't act all high and mighty. Don't stick your chest out like you talking tough or you making jokes. And this goes for people that I love, Crook and Kite, who got something to say. You won't say nothing on there about Rob Manfred. And we all know that's the reason why all this is happening. That's the reason why all this has gotten to this point. But won't nobody in those positions say anything about Rob Manfred on wax. So if you're not going to do that, don't speak on Sacramento. Don't speak about nothing that's going on here. Because it's fake hustle. You're trying to look like you standing up for Oakland and you standing up for the A's and the A's fans and all this other stuff when you pick on Sutter Health Park and when you pick on Sacramento. You're not really. It's fake hustle. That is fake outrage. I hate it. If you really want to talk about Rob Manfred on the air. You won't do that. AJ Przinsky, all them dudes, Foul Territory, I think that's the name of that show. They want to have all this stuff. Talk about Rob Manfred on the air. Talk about Rob Manfred on wax. If you're not doing that, you're not really talking about nothing.
Right.
So I agree with you. That was a great point by you. That has been the worst part of it all.
And I'm hoping everybody feels better now that they've crapped on Sacramento and we could just watch and enjoy baseball the second half of the season without hearing your stupid ass commentary. I'm like Fox News. Shut up and call the game. I don't care what you think about this city. You don't live here. You ain't from here.
Right.
That's the only downside today so far.
I agree.